Hi, friends, and welcome to Peace is Here. I'm your host, Ava Skalfsbeck. This is another episode in the Wolff Peace series, a journey through Robert Paul Wolff's 1966 anthology, Political Man and Social Man. Lie down, buddy. In each episode, we pair one of the great political theorists from Wolff's book with someone who lived peace as a daily radical practice. Together, they help us explore the tension between power and principle and what peace truly requires. The thinker, David Hume, 1711 to 1776. Today's thinker is David Hume, the Scottish philosopher best known for his sharp skepticism and dazzling prose. In his essay of The Original Contract, Hume challenged a foundational myth of modern political theory, the idea that governments are legitimate because people once freely agreed to a social contract. No, Hume said, people don't really consent. They inherit government like they inherit geography. And when they submit, it's usually from habit, not principle. He wrote, almost all the governments which exist at present have been founded originally either on usurpation or conquest or both. For Hume, the myth of consent can mask violence and maintain the status quo. That's why we need to examine not just the stories governments tell, but the power they wield. Hume's skepticism laid the groundwork for modern critical thinking about politics, history, and even science. His work shaped generations of philosophers, including Kant, and his rejection of absolutism helped usher in Enlightenment liberalism. But his legacy is also fraught. He profited from colonial systems and held racist views that deeply contradict modern values of peace and equality. Peace Pairing, Wangari Maathai, 1940 to 2011. To balance this penetrating critique of political illusion, we turn to the grounded, regenerative work of Wangari Maathai, Kenyan environmentalist, women's rights activist, and Nobel Peace Prize winner. Where Hume dismantled the fictions of power, Maathai rebuilt community and agency from the roots up, literally. She founded the Green Belt movement in 1977 to combat deforestation, restore degraded land, and empower women in rural Kenya. Her message was simple and revolutionary. Plant trees, grow peace. She said, when we plant trees, we plant the seeds of peace and hope. Her work planted over 50 million trees and gave rural women in Kenya the tools to become stewards of peace, starting with seedlings. For Maathai, environmental degradation and political oppression were intertwined, and peace could only grow where people felt connected, empowered, and grounded. Where Hume observed that societies survive on trust, Maathai showed how to rebuild it, one tree, one village, one voice at a time. Your peace questions to ponder. Big picture. Is your sense of peace rooted in ideas or in actions and habits? What customs have you inherited that need to be questioned? Day-to-day life. What is something small and living, perhaps a plant or patch of ground, you can care for today? What might grow from it? That concludes this episode of Peace is Here. You can learn more at avaskalfsbeck.com, where I share updates on this podcast and my books, including the newly released novella Mano Mutante, a story about food, friendship, and finding peace in the soy-soaked heart of industrial ag Iowa. I write best friend activist short fiction in my Peter the Water Dog Saves the Planet 6-book series. Coming up next, more thinkers, more peace pairings, and more bold questions from the Wolff Peace series. This episode is human narrated by me, but was created with the help of AI, which has promised to let me know if it makes something up. So far, no confessions, but if you believe I've missed something, or if you just want to say hello, I'd love to hear from you. Podcast music is Dalai Lama Riding a Bike by Javier Peque Rodriguez. Links to his music on Spotify and Bandcamp are in the show notes. If you enjoyed this podcast, it really helps me if you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts, or send it to a friend. I'm Avis Kaufsbeck, and I write the Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet book series, which are a series of environmental adventure novellas. Books 1 through 6 are available at all your favorite online bookstores or at aviskaufsbeck.com. Go to aviskaufsbeck.com to be notified when new books come out. Thank you again. Until next time, listen for the peace.